Okay, so you're here to get my movement settings. You might not even know who I am. You might be new to PC, and this will cover every single thing you need to know. From overclocking the controller to tapstrafing, superglide configs, yeah, everything. So first we can go over to tapstrafing. You might have seen guides on this before, but I'll just go quickly over it. So you just click on controller layout and this will come up. This is the new layout. It's got more features, but it lags your game actually. Trust me. So what you want to do is click on view, open small mode, and minimize to this size, right? And right click on Apex Legends, edit Steam controller configuration, and then you get the old config screen. To add your tapstrafing, go to your movement joystick. Don't change anything else but mode shifting. When you get here, you select directional pad, and then you need to select the button you're going to mode shift with, like activate the tapstrafing. And that would be your sprint button. So what you have binded sprint to is your tapstrafe button. If you want, in my guide, I don't have my sprint button on L3 or left stick click, and that's because it creates drift, and I can't use the strong tapstrafing. It just throws you off. So what you want to do after you select your button is this would be empty on your screen. You would click here on the top one, binding, and W, because the top one's forward. Here you select long press if you don't have your tapstrafe button on your L3 or left stick click. Right. Hold to repeat on and drag this slider all the way up, because that's going to click as fast as Steam goes. Yeah. Long press time all the way down. Then it will start to click fast instantly, right? You do that to all these directional buttons, and then you can select 4-way overlap or 8-way overlap. I can show you the difference later, and the same, I can also show you the difference between regular and long press. Overlap region, I would just leave it at that. If you have 4-way, that doesn't matter at all. Dead zone, I would put that as low as possible, because it makes your movement snappier and all those kind of stuff. Yeah, after you're done that, back, and done. If you want instant holster, I can show you that too. I have it on my touchpad, because you can, if you have a DualShock, you can get an extra button by splitting the touchpad. In the newer Steam config, you can actually split the touchpad in 3. You click. On the left side of my pad, I've binded to IN3, which is holster and inspect. So I can crack my knuckles and stuff when I move. I don't have heirloom on PC, so that won't help. But I have instant holster. And since I actually play spider claw on both hands in a specific way, so I can access the touchpad fairly easily. Yeah. Okay, then we're going to go through the superglide. So what you want to do is download this program called AntiMacro. I'll link that in the description. Download it and launch it. When AntiMacro is launched, it will look kinda like this. Right? It might be different size, different version, I don't know. But you need to select a button you want to remove that you can't use in-game. For me, that would be extra character actions, because I don't need emotes and stuff like that. So yeah, and I've binded that to D-pad right. So I would you go here, turbo, advanced, turbo, and take this all the way down. Right? Click on mouse and wheel down. This will be an infinite jump button, so it will just jump forever. Like this. So you can be up and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't work uphill, because it will just glitch out. Like some sort of security thing Respawn have made. So it will drag your aim down and throw you off. Yeah, just watch out for that and don't use it when you're turning uphill. Downhill, it doesn't matter, but uphill. Yeah, and also when you're in AntiMacro here, you can also click on the guide button and bind that to T if you want to talk to your teammates by holding the home button on the PS4 controller. Close that out without clicking the X, just the line. Then we can add super gliding. This is a CFG and it might be considered cheating. That's up to you if you want to use it or not, but I definitely would use it. It's not nobody has been banned for it yet. And if they say they're going to ban people for it, they will probably tell in advance. Yeah. Look, so first of all, you need to go back to your local files or game files, properties, local files, and browse. Then you're here. You open the file named CFG. Then you click on View and Show and File Name Extensions. Check this. Okay. And then you want to go to the folder you downloaded and superglide 123. Just Control C, Control V into here, right? Then they should appear like this. What they do, superglide 1, the file superglide 1, will bind space to jump, and when you click space, it will activate superglide 2, right? And superglide 2 will activate when you scroll down, which is your removed button on the controller. Oh yeah, I forgot to show how to remove a button. Okay, to remove the button on the D-pad you want to remove, click here, and the one you want to remove, and click on remove. And then you want to add space besides your X button, so both are pressed at the same time. You click on add activator and binding space. Here. Both of these. Then you've done it perfect. Okay. Superglide 2. Here it is your FPS cap. Mine is on 60, because that's the same timing as on console, and that's what I'm used to. So it will jump and bind FPS to 60, right? Or I can put it in 30, because that's the most usual thing, right? And then Superglide 3 will unbind the FPS and crouch. Yeah, easy peasy. And that's the Superglide sequence, right? Lower frame rate, easier Superglide. Once you've copy and pasted that in, you want to go back here, and some of you already have an autoexec.cfg. Just copy that and paste it in. And if you already have one, you just want to copy this, Ctrl C, and paste that in your autoexec. This line. Yeah, and that's the only line I'm going to include, because that's 120 FOV, and that's useless. I promise. I just messed around with it a second ago, like that. Yeah, want to copy and paste this in. So this will uncap your FPS and activate autoexec, which we all know is the superglide thingy. Yeah. Once you're done with that, your superglide should work. Then, after that, you want to open DS4, which I'll also link in the description. here. You download it from this website, and here you can overclock your controllers. So what you want to do is go to Profiles, create a new one. Here, this will pop up, right? You click on Yes. Gamepad and the type of controller you use. I use DualShock 4, which is a PS4 controller, and click Apply. Then this will pop up. So the first thing you want to do, you want to click on all these 4 different types of controller thing, right? And click on the touchpad. This is so you don't accidentally click on a ton of things. So what you're going to see when all 4 is lined up like this, touchpad click, then you're good. Then you want to go to Other, all the way to the right, here. Go all the way down and click on Poll Rate. What this will do is this is how fast your controller updates, send signals. So right now it's on 250 Hz. This will give you around a 4 millisecond input delay, which is quite high. If you take this on 1000 Hz, that will give you 1 millisecond input delay. Or basically, you can see the input delay jump from 1.3 to 1.6 up and down, and that's because that's just life. Be aware, if you have an old controller, this will drain your battery, just like it's a hole in the battery and the energy drains out. So I would just plug the controller in at all times. Keep it plugged in. When you're done with that, create a name, 123, or 124, 134, yeah. Click here, and 134. Then it should look like this, right? You can have multiple controllers, and you can have multiple layouts for different games. You can also change the color of the light, but that doesn't really matter. I've turned it off. Yeah, when you're done with that, just minimize. Okay. Then you want to download Then you want to download this thing, right? ViGEmBus. This will give you the latest controller driver. So, yeah, some computers just have really old controller drivers and multiple clicks or touchpad registration. That doesn't work, right? So download this, and that will also make the polling rate faster because it's more like connected to the computer or something. I don't know the science behind it, but it works. After that, you want to download RTSS. It's this program which usually comes with MSI Afterburner if you have that. And if you have had a computer for some time, you probably have that or RTSS already installed. So you launch it, and it will look something like this. To add Apex Legends to that list, you click on Add and find Apex Legends in the files. And to find the file location for Apex Legends, go to Steam, right-click, Properties, Local Files, and click on Browse, the big grey button. Cross that out, and you'll find the Apex Legends where it's stored. Select R5 Apex here, which is Apex Legends, and double-click that to add that to RTSS. It will look something like this. Yeah. Here you add your frame rate limit. I would put that as low as the lowest the frames go. Play on low frame rate and more consistency. Also, frame rate changes your sensitivity, so if it's not consistent, you won't get a consistent sensitivity, right? If you want my settings, which I am going to use in this video, you can just copy all these settings in the setup tab, and you'll have it just as me. Yeah. Then just click on the line to close that down. Still running in the background. Perfect. Now we can launch Apex Legends. When you open Apex Legends now, your controller should feel very responsive because of the overclock, right? And your tap strafing should work. That's the first thing you're going to check. So after you leave the ground with that jump, you have 0.4 seconds to tap strafe. Or almost half a second. So if you hold the tap strafe button in the air, you'll be able to just change directions all over the place. And yeah, this is gameplay on long press. I can do 180 tap strafes and stuff. If I had that on regular press, which I recommended L3 activators to do, you won't be able to get these snappy, quick tap strafes, and that's got to do something with the clicky. I think long press just holds the button longer. Obviously, that's just some fractions of a second, but it's longer. That's why it feels so much snappier and so much stronger. If you have it on L3, you don't want this because it's uncontrollable. Trust me. And it will just throw you off more than it will help you. Honestly. So bind your sprint to something else than L3 if you want this fast tap strafing. And then we had 8-way overlap and 4-way without overlap. And that got to do with rust strafing, right? Rust strafe is a very popular thing good people do. Basically you jump and change directions. On mouse and keyboard this is easier, but yeah, you can do it on controller if you're quick on your left stick, as you can see. I do it like 9 out of 10 times. Yeah, this is very good. It's like tap strafing in a circle. This will... this is like the best thing you can do with tap strafing, honestly. Just pull momentum out of nowhere. If... cut. Yeah, okay. Tap strafing works out of everything. Every time you jump. So... you can tap strafe out of this, as you saw. I can just tap... interact, jump, and go backwards. Forwards, yeah, in all directions. It works out of wall bounces. Like that. You can do a rust strafe to go over walls. That's better than... if you have regular press, you need to flick your aim over to get over. For those who use regular press, which I guess is most people here. Yeah. Then some troubleshooting for tap strafing. Most common one is, or the most common trouble is that people kill their momentum with their tap strafe. So they're way too radical. They like go from W straight to S, for example. That doesn't work, you see, just kills momentum. So what you want to do is take it in a circle, like a C motion on the controller. Just keep the momentum. So if I want to go backwards, I go W, then D, and then S. That way it just carries the momentum through the whole thing and I get full speed back again. Yeah. That's basically it. Also the same from left to right. That doesn't work. Right, check if the superglide works. So if you have copied my RTSS settings, you'll have in the top left corner your FPS counter with frame times, which is the graph. And it's completely flat because you use RTSS. You might see it spiking a lot, and that's because I clicked my superglide button. So every time you click on space, or in my case X, like the down button, I guess on Xbox it would be A, it will activate superglide 2. And that's when you click on your scroll button, which in my case is D-pad right. It will do like this weird thing with the hand, because P20 have a weird crunch animation. Right? That means it works. And you'll see it spike, the frame times getting longer, and that's because it's a lower FPS. So yeah, it should work. It's the same timing as on console if you have it on 60 FPS. I guess most of you are from console. Or PC players switching to controller. That's a thing nowadays too. Yeah. Some troubleshooting with this super gliding. That can actually be that you have VSync on, like montage mode. You need to turn this completely off because that destroys your 30 FPS, right? So if you want VSync, you open NVIDIA settings, if you have NVIDIA. Managed 3D settings and program settings to the right here. Click on this drawer, scroll down till you see R5 Apex, add, and then add Apex Legends. R5 Apex Legends, yeah. Then you scroll all the way down here and vertical sync on. Just like that. Then you can cross that out and no tearing. No tearing. Higher frame times. Perfect, right? Yeah. That's the whole guide. Overclocked controllers, superglide, tapstrafing. If it's something you wonder, I'm going to drop a neostrafe guide soon on controller. It's not that simple as it looks, but yeah, you can do a clunky one by just holding the scroll button. But you can see it's kinda slow and isn't as... yeah, doesn't work. Also, you can tapstrafe out of your superglides.
Must go faster.
Yeah, and the superglide, if you have any problems, just comment them down below. I can't say any more than that.